beware. It's super cold right now in Illinois. My heater is going crazy in the studio. It's trying to keep everything warm. You might hear some noise in the background. Not on purpose, I promise. I started my music journey back in 2016, and although I am not famous yet, I've still found a strategy that's helped me get my Spotify from less than 1,000 monthly listeners to over 18,000 in the last 6 months. I get it, guys. It's difficult starting off in the music industry, especially when you don't have any direction or path. And quite frankly, I'm still carving my own path. Now, 18,000 monthly listeners isn't massive, but it's something. And I know a lot of you guys are still struggling to get your first 1,000, even maybe 100 monthly listeners on Spotify. So let's say that everything was taken away from me. I had no YouTube channel, no followers on Spotify or any social media pages. I was literally at ground zero. What would be the top 3 things that would get me back on the fast lane to success in the music industry? Now, when it came to choosing my top 3 things, I chose them on a fundamental basis. I didn't choose these things because they're hacks and they're gonna blow you up super fast in the industry. It's more so that I think these are really, really good foundation to build your music off of, because this is going to get you a really solid spot, your own spot in the music industry. So make sure you stick around to the end, especially the 3rd tip, because it's something that I definitely think that not a lot of people think of, but is super crucial to growing yourself on Spotify or anywhere for that matter. Tip number 1, stay consistent on a schedule. You probably hear the word consistency thrown around all the time, because I know I did when I first started off. Consistency is key is a saying that a lot of people say, especially content creators, because when it comes to making content, if you're consistent, you're going to see growth. And I'm pretty sure a lot of us know that. When I was starting off, I knew consistency was key. It makes sense, but I didn't really realize the power that it had until I started implementing it into my YouTube content and my music. Consistency keeps your followers engaged, and even if you don't have any followers, it's going to be a lot easier to build up that following if you have that consistency behind you. If you have music coming out at a specific, consistent time, people are going to be able to expect when your next song is going to release. Therefore, if somebody new comes along, finds your music, and they're like, hey, this is a great song, I love this artist, when can I listen to their next song? It makes it a lot easier for people to expect that and have you fresh in their memory when they're thinking about listening to new music. This is the same reason why your favorite YouTubers release videos every single week. They're on a consistent schedule because they know you're gonna come back if they have something there for you. Let's say you live with your parents, they make you food every single day. You can expect when the next time you're gonna get your meal is. If they stopped making meals for you every single day, you're gonna go find your meal somewhere else. So if you're constantly providing content for your followers, they're gonna stick around and they're gonna wanna be there with you and help you grow. Let people know when specifically you're going to be releasing songs. In my case, I release my songs every month on the 25th. There's other people that do it the last Friday of every month. There's some people that do it every single week. Figure out what strategy works best for you, and as long as you're on a consistent schedule, you will find more success with keeping your followers engaged and growing. Also, don't just release music consistently, release content as well. If you know how to use a camera and you want to make YouTube videos doing behind the scenes of your music, that'd be a great way to keep your followers engaged on other social media. And if you're not really a video person, Instagram is a great way to grow your audience as well. Posting pictures consistently is going to help keep you fresh in their minds, because let's face it, if you're doing 1 song a month and that's the only thing you're posting every month, even if you're consistent with releasing music, let's face it, 1 month, 4 weeks for 1 piece of content, it's a long time and people might forget about you. So post consistently on social media like Instagram. If you use Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube if you make YouTube videos. You want to have something to constantly give people so that you're always there. Tip number 2, understand that it's not easy. Now this might sound like a cheesy one, but stick with me here. I remember being a sophomore in high school and telling myself, by the time I graduate, I'm easily going to have 2 million monthly listeners on Spotify. I specifically remember telling my girlfriend in the car, 60 million streams a month sounds super achievable. By the time I graduated high school, I had less than 1,000 monthly listeners on Spotify, and definitely not 60 million streams a month. I'm surprised that my girlfriend even believed in me this long, but hey, I guess I'm convincing. Although I still have those ambitions of getting 60 million streams a month and over 1 million monthly listeners on Spotify, This industry is so much harder than it seems. There's so much to learn about this industry, and I'm still learning even after being in this ever since my sophomore year of high school. But what I've come to realize is that there's general rules / guidelines that you have to follow if you want to blow up. I was being naive and paid way too much attention to the people that were blowing up and the process of blowing up, that I didn't realize the amount of work and effort it takes to even set yourself up for a blow up in the first place. Too often you'll see artists that you never heard of blow up out of nowhere, and it might seem like they just got a lucky break, which sometimes people do get a lucky break, but majority of the time these people put in a crap ton of work to be able to blow up like that. These are all calculated decisions, and even though we all might think our music is great and that it has the chance to blow up, we are never going to be the exception to the rule. I can't tell you how many times I've released a song saying this is gonna be the one that blows up, this is gonna be the one that blows up, this is gonna be the one that blows up, and it never blows up. What I've come to realize is that even though that's a possibility, it's more than likely not going to happen. You are more than likely not going to be the exception to the rule. Some people get lucky, and they are, but for the rest of us artists, we're not going to be the exception to the rule. So you need to stop acting like it. This is exactly why I think consistency plays a big part, because being consistent and having a schedule keeps you on the right track to success. If you release 4 songs a year, hoping one of those 4 songs will be one that blows up, you're going to be drastically outperformed by all the other artists that are releasing music consistently at least once a month. The artists that are actually going to make it and make a career for themselves in this industry are not taking it like a blow up opportunity, but more so like a job. They're working every single day at this stuff, making sure that each decision they make is calculated. Therefore, when it comes time to blow up, they didn't do it by luck. They did it because they were actually smart about it. Now, the third tip, the special one, is something that I don't really hear talked about a lot on YouTube, especially for musicians, is investing in yourself. So one thing about me is I've never worked a real job in my life. I've never worked at McDonald's flipping burgers or anything like that. So when it comes to YouTube, this is my first and only job. I'm almost 20 years old, by the way, so that gives you a little reference of like the timeline that I'm talking here. Some people might call me lazy, and some people might call me lucky even, because my parents didn't force me like how some parents do with their kids. And I'll admit, my parents never pushed me to get a job, but I wasn't spoiled. Money was never handed to me. I didn't have an allowance of any sort, so I didn't start seeing my first bit of income until I monetized this channel back in 2018. But the problem never was how much money I was earning, it was how I was using that money. I wasn't like doing drugs or anything like that, but I didn't understand the value that $1 had to me. I didn't know that if I put $1 into something that grew my business, I could potentially make $1.50 back. I'll explain a little bit more. Now, I'm not a financial advisor by any means, but from experience, spending your money that's actually going to grow your business instead of something that's momentary, like movie tickets, food, video games, is going to give you a lot more value and eventually more money. For example, at the beginning of January of this year, I spent $200 on a Facebook/Instagram ad campaign for my song So Close. Through this ad campaign, I gained a total couple hundred followers on not only Spotify, but Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, a bunch of my social media. A lot of these followers DM me saying how much they love my music, and whenever I post new content, they're always there engaged with what I post. But get this is the crazy part. Spotify pays out on average 0.003 cents per stream. That doesn't sound like a lot, but wait a second. So Close currently has 87,714 streams on Spotify alone. That pays out to roughly $263.14, give or take. So not only did I grow my followers through that ad campaign, but I actually made $63 profit in the process. So I quite literally just turned my money into more money, which therefore I could reinvest into the same ad campaign or a different one and potentially do the exact same thing, doubling what I had before. Obviously, this is not as simple as just throwing your money into ad campaigns and watching it grow. There's a learning curve to everything, and it can take a while for you to figure out the best places to put your money. Ad campaigns might be something for you, it might not. You're not gonna understand what to do right away, which is okay, because heck, I'm even still learning. But my opinion is this: The moment you start making money, whether it be through music or a part-time job, invest a good chunk of that money into yourself. Knowledge is super powerful, and the more you know, the more you're worth. I recently purchased a course on Udemy for Blender for an upcoming project that I'm doing with my brother, and eventually I know it's gonna pay itself off. But that's something I'm gonna have to share with you guys another time. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel to see more content like this. If you remember, I said I release a new song every 25th. This month, I'm releasing a song called Zodiacs, so please feel free to pre-save it in the link in the description down below. And as always, if you want to continue talking to me or the rest of the community, feel free to join the Discord down below. We love chatting with you, so make sure you come join us. It's super fun. We're almost at 500 Discord members. Crush the music industry. You got this. Thank you so much for watching, but most importantly, don't be afraid to show your genius. I can't be inside.